Hola amigos! We're here once again this morning on Sayulita Beach in Mexico. This morning we're going to do just a quick 10 to 12 minute flow to warm our bodies up, wake up our systems for the day. Let's go ahead and we'll actually start in standing this morning. Let's come to the top of your mat and just bring your feet hip distance apart. Lift up all 10 of your toes, flare them apart, and then individually piano key each one back down. Roll your shoulders up towards your ears, take a breath in, and as you exhale, roll them down the back, opening the palms to face forward. Just taking a moment to notice the sway of your pelvis, so see if you can sway it forward and back. And then allow it to land in neutral. And take a really slight, almost invisible bend to the knees so they're ready and prepared. And just begin to now sway the weight of your body in circles or side to side, noticing the receptors in your feet, your toes like antennas sensing. And can you grow a little taller through the crown of your head? And eventually moving towards stillness here in standing. Maybe you want to set an intention for your practice this morning, for your day. Maybe there's a word in particular that you want to focus on. For me, it's consistency. And just call to mind that word or your intention. Take a couple of inhales and exhales, bringing it to your mind's eye. Flutter your eyelids open now. And just take an inhale to circle the arms all the way up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bend your knees, hinge at your hips, and bow forward over your legs. You can inhale to lengthen the spine, shoulder blades down the back. And then exhale to fold forward. Inhale to circle your arms all the way up, big stretch. And exhale, hands connect at the heart. We'll do that twice more. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, waterfall over the legs. Inhale, lengthen the spine, crown forward, sit bones back. Generous bend to your knees as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale to circle the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, reach up, maybe even look up. And exhale, bow forward. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, circle the arms up, reach up. And exhale, hands through heart center. This time, inhale, reach up. And take hold of your right wrist with your left hand. I'll turn to face you. On your inhale, grow a little taller. And as you exhale, lift up and over to your left. See if you can really keep the palm open, extending through the fingers, making this a bit more active. Really sending your breath into your right side body. And inhale to reach up, change the grip. And as you exhale, lift up and over to your right this time. And trying to maintain a little bit of space through the right low ribs and the hip crest as you inflate through the intercostal muscles on the left side. Inhale, return to center, reach up. And this time as you exhale, let's sit back and down, finding a nice strong chair pose. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to sit back down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit back down. Okay, bring the arms back alongside the body. See if you can interlace the fingers behind your back. Pull the knuckles away from the low back. Sit a little lower. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. Just feeling that energy, that heat starting to build in the legs. A couple more deep breaths here. One more inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward over the legs. Let the knuckles drop towards the earth. Option to sway here if you like. Okay, and release the grip of your hands. And take your right hand to your left shin and see if you can find some length. Bring your left hand to your lower back, just finding a gentle twist through the mid-spine, the thoracic region. Keep the headlights of your hips pointing down. You can optionally just bend that right leg a little. Maybe you want to reach this left arm up and take a couple of full expansive breaths. And then switch. Take this left hand to your right shin. Option to bend your right knee just subtly. Right hand to the sacrum. Imagine your low back is like a little tabletop, balancing teacups or china, and then reach your right arm up. A couple of full breaths here as well. Just finding this twist here, again, through the mid-spine, often an area that's really limited, really restricted in our bodies, so just working on that. And then release the hand down. Let's take the right foot way back. We're gonna release the knee down. You can go ahead and find a low lunge. So inhale to circle the arms up. And as you exhale, land here. Squeeze the right glute and glide it under you. And then see if you can grow a little taller through the waist. And instead of just flaring the rib cage, can you find a bit of containment? Draw the low ribs down and then lift taller through the sternum plate. Release this right hand down to the mat or a block. Lift your back knee and find a simple twist. Turn your gaze towards your left palm. Maybe you want to circle this shoulder out, just getting it moving in the socket. A couple times in one direction, and then change the direction. Good, and then if you have blocks, you're welcome to use them, or you can have your hands on the mat and just lengthen this left leg back. I sometimes even like to kind of lift the front toes and then push them down. I even sometimes kind of sway the weight forward and back. So I come to the front right, the back right toes, and then I lift the front toes and just kind of sway forward and back, making it a bit more active and dynamic. Beautiful, and then come to rise, finding your first high lunge. Take an inhale to circle the arms up. And as you exhale, bring your left hand to your hip and just find a side bend here, balancing, staying high on the ball of your back foot. And return to neutral. Bring your hands to the heart and we'll take one more twist. Tuck the elbows over that left thigh. Take an inhale to grow long. And as you exhale, twist a little deeper. Option to release your back knee down if you want a bit more stability this morning. Return to center, plant your palms, and let's step back into a downward facing dog. First one of this morning, take generous bend in the knees if you like. Find any kind of movement that feels good. I really like here to kind of roll out the shoulders. So I'm just kind of rolling them up and down the back. I like to play with the pelvic tilt, so scoop the sit bones up to the sky and then round them under and see how that feels. Maybe even come really high onto your tippy toes and then push the heels down. Beautiful, bend the knees, look forward and make your way to the front of your mat. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Inhale to reach all the way up, big breath in. And as you exhale, bring your hands to the heart. Let's take an inhale again, circle the arms up. Exhale to bow over the legs. Inhale, flat spine stretch. Exhale to fold. This time, step your left foot back, release the knee down. You can inhale to circle the arms all the way up overhead. And then go ahead and activate this left glute. So squeeze the glute and then tuck the tailbone under. And you might notice a nice stretch across the hip flexor. And let's inhale. Again, reach the arms up. You might like the feeling of tracking the right heel back towards you and then imagining gliding the left hip forward. So we're creating this little lock. Okay, bring this left hand down to the earth, followed by the right. Tuck the back toes under and lift the knee. And let's either stay in a static passive stretch here with this leg long. You can use blocks if you like, or if you prefer, you can glide forward and back. Good, and then come into your high lunge. Use the hands for support if you need to. Arms come overhead, breathe in. And as you exhale, land here. Just taking a moment to once again reconnect with your intention. I always find these high lunges really grounding, and this shape feels very elegant in the body. So see if you can stand in your dignity. Breathe in your intention. Good, and then from here, let's take the right hand to the right hip and inhale the left arm up. And as you exhale, lift up and over. And trying to stay neutral through the pelvis. And bring this left hand down underneath the shoulder or to a block and reach your right arm up. Once again, returning to this simple twist. Notice if your knee tends to kind of pop out and you sink through the hips. See if you can keep the knee in line with the toes. And try not to drop this left hip down. Try to lift so the pelvis again is neutral. And then twist from the thoracic region. Maybe take a couple of circles again in one direction. And then the other. Good. And then plant the palms and step back to downward facing dog. From your downward dog, you might like to stretch once more through the hips so you can take the left leg up towards the sky. Breathe in. And as you exhale, open the hip, bend the knee, and just point the left toes towards the right shoulder blade. Keep pushing through the hands. A couple of deep breaths. Release your left foot down, and then we'll switch. So right heel comes towards the sky, breathe in. And as you exhale, open the hip, point the toes now towards your left shoulder blade, gazing underneath the right shoulder. And then release that foot down. Let's inhale, come forward into a high plank posture. Option to release the knees or keep them lifted, but come all the way to your belly. And let's find a few back bends. So tense your fingers out to the sides, your arms are cactus, and you can take an inhale to lift up. And exhale to lower. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift up. And this time, draw this right shoulder down towards the earth. It doesn't have to touch. Just finding the stretch through the shoulder. Rise back up and switch. And do that a few more times. Good, and then from here, turn your gaze over the shoulder, looking back at your feet. And then lower back down. Let's press into the palms, find a tabletop posture. You can take a couple rounds of cat and cow. Finding neutral, circle through your ankles. Slowly, a few times in one direction and the other. Beautiful, and then you have two options here. If you find it really intense, you can maybe start with the toes tucked under and then eventually untuck them, just sitting down on the tops of your feet. Otherwise, you can kind of stay here stretching the soles of your feet. We'll do a little bit of a neck stretch, so I'll come to face you. You can take the back of your left hand to rest on your lower back, or maybe you'd like to hook the bicep. And take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, drop your right ear to the right shoulder. Trying to keep the shoulders neutral. Just enjoying a few deep, spacious breaths here as you lengthen the scalene muscles. These muscles in our neck often are over fatigued because we tend to kind of hang out in the upper compartment of our lungs, really stressing the secondary breathing muscles, kind of in the neck, the chest, instead of using our diaphragm. So here, we're just giving them a little bit of attention and love. And then return to neutral through the neck, and you can switch. So the back of the right palm either rests on the low back. You're getting a little bit of internal rotation here. It feels nice to the shoulder. Or you can even hook the bicep. And this time drop the left ear to the left shoulder and take a few deep breaths. And then come back to neutral. You can release the grip of your hand and then just take a few slow circles through the neck. Maybe twice in one direction, twice in the other. Beautiful. And then just come to seated in neutral. With your eyes closed, once again, bring your awareness back to your intention. And if you didn't find an intention, maybe here you just want to take a moment to think of 3 things you're grateful for. We know that joy and happiness is a practice. It's cultivated in the mind, and it takes work. So maybe you just want to reflect on 3 small things you're grateful for. We'll close our practice by bringing our hands to the heart and a gentle tuck of the chin. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat this morning. My hope is that you can return to these moments of peace when you're faced with challenge, and that you can also cherish the moments with gratitude that are joyful and good. Can't wait to see you on the mat next time.